Mhm. Stream is going to start. We also need, of course, camera and window. Camera is reacting. Good, good. What about sound? Do we hear some sound? Window, camera is... Yeah, there is also sound, which is great. And with that, welcome back to the most likely final day of our platformer development, where we are going to create the 3 maps, the tutorial, the map 1 and the map 2. And we are going to implement 2 final things that we are currently missing. So the one that I mentioned yesterday, that we want to render some text in the tutorial map directly, which will guide the player through how the controls are working and guide him through the tutorial map so that he learns about movement, jumping, and also about the cherry that can be picked up to perform a double jump. And the second thing is, what I thought about is actually when we collect a cherry, it simply disappears and it never respawns. And that would lead to, if the player, for example, dies after he went over a pit, for example, or I don't know, he picked up the cherry and went the opposite direction, then basically he would be stuck in the map because there would be no way for him to finish the map. And that's why we need to respawn the cherry so that he can then get over a pit again and again, that he has multiple chances to do that. So we, instead of deleting or removing the cherry entity, we need to respawn it. Okay, but first things first, we are going to create a tutorial map. And for that, I would say we simply select everything, we delete everything. Bye-bye. I don't know if there's a button to remove everything in all the layers. I have no idea. So what will our map look like? So most likely we have, of course, some starting area, which is rather simple. We can put it here. Also make here the bottom part of it. And then extend it a little bit, that the player learns about the left and right move. And I think that's the beginning. That's good enough. There is nothing more needed than that. In addition, I want to place the start flag, of course, which will be a foreground object. I think we placed it in the foreground, if I remember correctly. Let's put it here and also move it down by 2 pixels. So that's the beginning. That looks good. And also our player needs to spawn somewhere. So player spawn location will be, I would say, in front of the start sign, maybe a little bit to the right. Something like that. That looks good. And that's a little bit boring here from a terrain point of view. So we will add here a little bit of a grass and maybe here again. What is that? So this is also a little bit of a different kind of, or what is that actually? I don't know. Let's make another one here. And then here I'm a little bit annoyed that there is some black pixels in the bottom, so we will skip that. We will leave it like that. Okay, so until here, that's the movement stuff. And then there will be a little bit of a gap. Like here, where the player needs to jump over it. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Not sure. I think four tiles should be good to go. Hello, CQI? CQ1? then a little bit of this again. So let me think. So here, again, here we would have some movement. Here we would have the jumping. And the final mechanic would be some cherries. So let's extend the map just a little bit to the right. I don't know, 10 more tiles, for example. And now instead of having a gap of 4, we will have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Something like this. Okay. And here will be then the finish of the first map. So what we will have, first of all, as a foreground object again, we will have our finish flag. Maybe 5 tiles away from the end of the map or 6 tiles away. I don't know. Let's make it 6 tiles and move it down by 2 again. Okay, so finish flag is available. And in addition, we need the cherries. Maybe one here and another one here. And that should be sufficient. Let me... I can place them like this. Okay, then... Wait, let's do it like this. And another one here. Maybe the first one a little bit to the right. Yeah. Not 100% sure. Let me move it like this. So there's a gap of 2 tiles to get this one. And then there is another gap of almost 2 tiles to the right edge of this platform. So that should theoretically already work. Again, just some gimmick stuff. That it's not always the same tile set graphic. It's a little bit different. Otherwise, I think there are no real decorations. No, there are no real decorations, so we will just need to live with that. Other than that, we can, of course, reduce the height of the map because it's way too big. We don't need that at all. Maybe 14 is enough. Okay. Oops, no. That looks good. So what we can do on this tutorial map, we can implement first of all the respawning of the cherries. So that would be good. And the more important part, and there I'm not 100% sure, it needs to be on an object layer, it seems. And here we want to render some text now. And in order for that to work, and ideally to represent the same scene that we have in Tile, that we have the same scene then in our game, we need to install the TrueType font. Where do we have it? Somewhere. I think it's this one. Let me... How can you install like this? Okay. It's called Masaki. Okay, then let's try to find that. There should be now a font which is called Masaki. I don't see it. A reason could be usually that these fonts are maybe loaded at startup and they are not dynamically reloaded. So let's quickly restart Tiled. And maybe now we have it available, or it's installed under a different name. That could also be the case. No, Masaki, it's here. Perfect. And the size, I don't know. We need to try that out. So the text would be use A and D for movement. And it's not a, yeah, it should be a background text. I think that's nice. So maybe put it like here, but it needs to be a little bit shorter. So maybe like this. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, use A and D for, it's not called movement, for moving, right? You say for moving, I would guess. And let's implement it that we can see this text. Then we can place another one here where we say use space for jumping. And here, the third and final information text for the cherry to explain how it behaves. And that's it. So first of all, I need to understand where this is stored. And also, I'm not sure if LibGDX supports that, because LibGDX is unfortunately not up to date with all the latest tiled features. We have our game screen, and there we have a function which we called load map. And then we have a map change event, and I guess the tiled service is reacting to that. Okay, so in here we get the tiled map, and there we will have a look how this text is stored and if we can retrieve it. Let's see. And I need some light in my room, most likely. And one more thing, because people complain that I resize too often and maximize the window, which is time consuming. So we will simply make the window a little bit bigger. What is 64 by 2? It's 2080. Yeah, I think I can calculate that. And 72, right? Let's see. Better. Okay. Tutorial. Something is crashing. Unsupported map object. Rectangle map object. Spawn game object entity. Okay. Yeah, interesting, but I placed a breakpoint there. So I assume this rectangle map object is the text object that we placed. Okay. And now let's analyze that. So we have event, we have the tiled map, we have the different layers, and we placed it in the background layer, which should be the first one, actually. This one. Oh, that's called foreground. So maybe it's from top to bottom. So maybe this one here is background objects. Okay. Then we have objects, and there is currently one object which has a location. Okay. And it has a color, and it has a property. Yeah, okay, but it does not contain the text information, right? Is this the object? Is this our text map object? I'm not 100% sure. Width of 111 and Y of 6, the height of 45. I think it's this one. But the text information is not parsed. Which, unfortunately, I feared that libGDX is not supporting that. The question would be, can we fix that easily? Let's invest a little bit of time. That might be interesting. So there should be a loader, which is called TMX map loader. This loader should have object somewhere. Add tile object, cast property. Load object. Maybe of a map layer. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, all of that goes into a load object. Element get name equals object. Then it does something. Then it gets x, y, width, and height. Child by name polygon, polyline, ellipse. Object equals null. Then it does something. Git width, height, rotation. Then rectangle map object. Name, rotation, type, ID, X, Y, width, height, visible, and properties. But there is no text parsed. Which, let's make a breakpoint here. So we have an element. Wait, we need the object with ID. Okay, wait. I'm not sure. I need the object with ID 31. Okay, then let's debug until we have the object with ID 31. Which could take some time, but I cannot modify this code. Anyway, if we want to modify that, we have a chance. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a chance. There is, it's a protected method, this load object. So we can overrule it and enhance it. So let's see. We would need to extend the base TMX map loader? No, we need to extend the TMX map loader, right? Yeah, and that one we need to enhance. Let's see if we can easily do that. So let's call that just tiled loader. And that one extends TMX map loader. And that one, let's see, we set in our assets, if I remember correctly. Yes, where we pass in the file handler resolver. So we need our tiled loader here. And we add this argument, which we pass to this one here. Okay, and what we would now need, we need to overrule the load object method. I forgot which one it is. Let me check once more. There is a load object. And they all go to this one here. So in the end, we need here an overrule of load object where the first argument is the tiled map. Then we have the map objects. This one, then we have the element that we are currently parsing and the height in pixels. So we need to overrule this method here, where we basically call the entire logic that we have here, but in addition, objects add. Okay, so we need to get then the object out of this objects list. I hope that's possible. Let's see. So after that, we want to get objects and then simply the last element. I guess this is not nullable, so let's remove the question marks here. Does not make sense. So last object. And now the only thing that we need is a breakpoint. So if last object ID equals 31, that should be the one that we want to have. Let's maybe give that a name that we can find that's easier, because there could be other objects with ID 31 since we are loading all the maps at the beginning. So let's make it easier and make a breakpoint like this. I feel like a doctor, like a surgeon, slicing through the code from LibGDX to enhance it to our needs. Then let's go. Really? We never stopped at the breakpoint? Are we even calling this code now, or is that not working yet? Let's see. Okay, no, we end up in our loader. And the last object is... It has no name, really? Did I not? I forgot to save. My bad. Let's restart. Okay, so now we are in here. That's perfect. And I guess this element has some additional information, and I already see here something. What is that? It's not the attribute. It's a child. And it's a text element. And from there, we want to extract the text. That sounds not too difficult. So element get name equals object. No, is there something else done with the element? How are they retrieving things? So I need not the attribute, I would need the children information. We had this here. Element get child by name. I'm not sure. Let's fiddle a little bit around. Element get child by name, and the name would be text. Ha, that works. And from that child, we want to get... Is it an attribute? I'm not sure. Let's try get attribute. The attribute would also be text. Element text doesn't have attribute text. How is that called? I forgot that a long time ago that I had to parse some XML stuff like that. Is it just text? Really? It's as simple as that? Let's see. So coming back to our tiled loader, and thank you for the heart, whoever gave us a heart. So we would have element get child by name. What was it? Get child by name text. And if we have that, then we want to get the text property. Seems like that is available. And I would say if that one exists, so that would be object text. And the thing that we now want to do is that I would say we just add that to the properties. I would say, is it put? Under text, we place the object text. Yeah. I think that might be already it. Let's restart once more. Okay, we have the object text and we would now place that under the object that was just created and add it to its properties, which is available here. Okay. That is good. Another important information might be actually the font that is used, but and also word wrapping and things like that. But we don't need full support. So if it doesn't look exactly like Entiled, I think that's acceptable. The important piece of information is the location where it should be rendered and the text information. And we have that now. So we can also remove here the name and do one final test. And why did we create this method? Since LibGDX does not load the text information of a text object entiled, we need to overrule LibGDX load object method and parse the text info ourselves and add it to the properties of the map object. Okay, that should do the trick. Let's see one final time. We should hopefully still end up here and don't crash, and also end up here then in our map change. And there we need to distinguish now, most likely. So we iterate over the static rounds. I think that's not an issue, but this one here, spawn game object, I think that might be a problem. Let's see. Map object is not a tiled map tile map object. Then we throw an error. Okay, so then I would say it's rather simple. We can then have something like if map object is a rectangle map object, then spawn text. I don't know if it's an entity. Maybe it is. Let's make it an entity for now. Spawn text entity, where we pass, of course, the map object. We also need the set index, I would say, but we don't need the track layer information. And when we are here, we can then simply stop whatever we are doing. And in here, we should now get the text, which is from our map object, a property or null. And it's just called text. And if it's not there, then text object has no text specified. I don't know. Error handling could be improved, but that should be sufficient. And let's make here a print line of the text. And let's start once more. So step by step, we are getting there. Parsing works. Then did we print now? Use A and D for moving. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, everything looks good. By the way, okay, this gap can easily be closed with the jumping feature. Okay, this one will not work, so you definitely need to pick up a cherry. Ah, no. So we can make the gap a little bit bigger. Okay, but for the tutorial, I think that's good enough. And by the way, this is the problem that I mentioned. So since we don't respawn cherries, we cannot close or cannot jump over this little pit here. Okay, anyway, good. We are somewhere. So what we need is that we create a new entity. This entity gets good question. What does this entity get? Most likely, I would say maybe a text component. So we need something completely new. And this text component requires some information. So it requires the text that should be displayed. And let me think, also the boundary of the text, which can be a rectangle. Yeah. And I think that's everything. Do we need more? Maybe the color. I'm not sure if we have the color information available, but we could, of course, give that here a different color. Also the alignment properties, but all of that is anyway not parsed properly. Let's see what we can achieve with what we currently have. So we don't need a lot. So we just need this text component now. There we pass in the text, and the boundary, that is a little bit more interesting. So there we need the... What do we need? We need the X position times... We need to scale everything by our world units. Okay. And finally, there should also be a width and a height. And we can store that like this and create here a new rectangle with X, Y, width, and height. And that's good to go. Then set index. Where do we need that? I remember we have the render system. And here we have background entities, but they need to have a graphic component, and graphic would be a sprite. Okay, so this text thingy here needs to be rendered differently. Let's see if we can solve that. So first of all, set index is not necessary. We simply don't support that for now. Other than that, this should be the entire information that we need. And to render the text, I also have an idea. So we have our game screen. And let's see. We would have a system that renders the parallax background. And I would say right after that, so here we want to have a text system which renders the text, and then we render the map and the game objects. I think that should be sufficient for our use case. So let's create this text system, which is an iterating system, which iterates over the family with all text components. And what do we need here? So here we need to do a little bit of math because we have our game viewport. So we have the game coordinates of this entity, but we need to convert it to user interface coordinates because the text, the font is part of the user interface and needs to be rendered in that universe, let's say. So let's take over a couple of infos that we need. We need the game viewport, the UI viewport. Do we need the stage? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe. I don't know. Let's start without it. So we need the game viewport, user interface for, but the stage, I'm not sure. Let's just stick to the game camera. Okay, also here we have our entity and we want to retrieve the text information, which is the text that should be displayed and the boundary where it should be displayed. And then we need some way to render our font. It's a good one. Actually, we would need the skin, maybe. Let's try a quick and dirt implementation. So we have our default skin. From this skin, we want to get a font. And how is that font called? Is this the name? I guess so. Masaki Regular. So this should be the font. Bitmap font. And I think we can render a... Yeah, we can draw. Okay. We can draw. For that, we need the sprite patch, which is also okay. And it seems like we passed it to the bitmap font. Then the char sequence would be the text from our component. X would be something, Y, and maybe width, height, target width. Wait, there are different arguments now. So X and Y, that makes sense. Then start and end. What is start and end? I don't get that. Then anyway, target width, horizontal alignment. Not sure what that is. Maybe it's... Wait, is this an alignment information? And the wrapping, which would be true. No idea if that is correct. Anyway, the X, Y, and the width. Here we now need a little bit of some calculation. And maybe I need to look that up, but let's see if we can do it ourselves. So from a game viewport, I need the unproject method. I think. What is that doing? So transforms the specified screen coordinate to world coordinate. No. Transform the specified world coordinate to screen coordinate. Okay, so we need to project something. The world coordinate would be xy is a vector 2, and that's boundary x and boundary y. So then we can pass that in here. And this method is doing what? It takes the world coordinates, it modifies them, and it gives them back. So we are not interested in the return value, but we are interested in the UI viewport, and there we most likely need to unproject now. Let's see. Transform the specified screen coordinates that we had before to world coordinates. Yeah, that would also make sense. And now we can say here from XY to X and from XY to Y. This is a confusing name. Let's call that text position. Okay, and finally the width, that should simply be... Good question. What is the width? Hello, Copterfish. Maybe... I don't know, what would that actually really be? Text top right. That would be another vector too, which is boundary X plus the width and the Y, the height. And then we could do the same trick once more with this one here. And the width is now the top right X minus the text position X. If that is working, we will see. I'm not that confident, to be honest. But let's see. And we would need to pass in here the UI viewport camera. And also UI viewport apply. So that would be a really quick and dirt implementation. We will definitely not keep this code, but I guess we need to fiddle around here a little bit, so that will take some time. Yeah, game camera was not needed at all, so let's remove it. And let's see. So first of all, do we end up in this method at all? Okay, we do. We have the text information. We have the correct information here as well. And let's see. Okay, I'm actually quite surprised that it seems to work. Huh? I'm really surprised. Wait. So it's not perfect, of course. We know that since we don't have all the information in hand that Tiled has. Tiled maybe uses a different font size that we have. And maybe some other things as well. But for me, that's good enough, to be honest. I used it for... Okay, we don't have enough room to display the entire text, so... Maybe we need a smaller version of the font, but I think that should not be too difficult to create. And also the character seems to be that our bitmap font does not support that yet. Okay, but that's maybe... All of these things might be easily solvable. Okay, I'm quite surprised. By the way, Copterfish, you missed that unfortunately LibGDX does not pass the text, alignment information, font information, word wrapping from an object. And what we did to solve that was we just wrote our own tiled loader, which just extends this TMX map loader that we used before. And there we found out that there is a load object method in the, I think they call it TMX map base loader or something. Base TMX map loader. Yes, this one here. And there we just call the original method, which is doing all the parsing and creating the map object. And the last step of this method is that it adds an object to this object list, but by the way, there is an entire if around this method. So we might need to add that as well. Or do we? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think we don't need it. Anyway, so we then just get the last object from that list that was added before. And we have the XML element in hands as well. And from that one, we can get some information. Like here, we are extracting this text and then the real text and simply add that to the properties of the map object. It might be that the user is creating a property of the type text. Then we would simply override that. But in our case, that does not happen. So that's not a perfect solution, but it's a working solution for our case. So that's good enough. Okay, so what we need, I think we are almost done with this feature. Let's see, I want to create now a different font. Let's see, we have, damn it, I did not save. I feared that. I think yesterday I forgot to save the scene composer file. That's bad. That's really bad. Let's see. We have the gray button. But okay, let me try to recreate that. So we had a button and there we created a separate style. How did we call that style? That's a little bit unfortunate now. We called it menu view. And we called it menu button. So let's create a new style, menu button. No, not like this. We want to copy the menu button, but I cannot remember. No, it's also not that one. Wait. Maybe everything is correct. It is a text button. And there we had the menu button. Okay, we saved yesterday. That's good. Yeah, I was a little bit afraid that I missed something. No, everything is good. So what we need is a different font. We have this one here. And now can we... What do you want to rename the font to? No, I don't want to rename it. I want to copy it. Okay, let's create another one, which would be FNT. The source font is again the Masaki. The characters here, we do something special now. And we need this character as well. And I think that's it, right? Maybe the dot, maybe a minus, and maybe a comma. Okay, then the size needs to be a little bit smaller, maybe 12, or what size did we have here? 17. No, 10. Okay, then let's go down to 10. Okay, the color should be white. What is that one? If on, font smoothing is disabled. Yeah, so I would say mono on. Then do we need anything else? filtering is nearest, and nearest we don't want linear because we have a pixel font. And that's it. So I would say generate the font with a name, Masaki regular small. Markup enabled and okay. And then let's close that. Export. Now we have a new bitmap font that we can use in our text system. Like this. And hopefully now it looks a little bit better. That is too small. I would say a little bit bigger. And for whatever reason, the special characters still don't work. That's weird. Maybe we then just don't use them at all. Have you tried double quotes, by the way? Yeah, let's try that. Let's open it up here in the editor. But I find it interesting that tiled can obviously render it correctly, but in LibGDX it does not render correctly. No. It cannot render the quotes. I don't know why. Hello, Lario. State with. Is the problem that... I don't know. What is the problem actually? Is there maybe a character not rendered? By the way, why is this called regular 1 instead of small? Questions over questions. First things first, before I forget it, this font should be a little bit bigger. Let's remove it once more. Let's create another font. We are quick as heck. Characters are... Maybe when I select here A to C, no, it changes to custom, so that should actually work. But why? Let's try double quotes, normal quotes, then this quote, this quote. Let's see. Okay, size, we had 10, right? Or what? Which value did we have before? 10. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's use 12. Color is white. And that was it. Then we simply said generate. Call that small. Enable markup. Enter scaling value. What is a scaling value here? Tile probably has a fallback font. But how would that work? Because it needs to render the text, I guess, in one go with a specific font. So how could it fall back to something else? I could more think of that our bitmap font, since it does not use all the characters available, it just uses the characters that we specified, that maybe there something is missing. But let's see. Let's export it once more. More and more font files are created for whatever reason. Wait, Masaki regular 1. Seems like this is not used anywhere. The version 2 is used in the skin atlas and in the skin JSON file. Okay, we will rename that to small. We will also rename that to small. And we will, of course, also rename the file to small. And remove this one. Maybe that can be fixed in the scene composer thingy. Okay, the size of the font, in my opinion, is good enough. The characters are still not working. Let me check one more thing. So here we have all the available letters. So that's a broken letter. Then we have a lot of things. Comma, dot, and one of the quotes seems to work at least, but not all of them. I don't know why. I cannot tell you why. But we have different options. So let me try that quote. And let me also try the other version. And I guess one of these should work. Both of these work. It look a little bit stupid because they are so high up. Then I have a different idea. Okay, wait. I have a different idea how we can solve that. And that might be actually possible in here as well. I think it's red, green, blue. I don't know if we also need to specify alpha, but that would be the markup feature. And since we enable markup, it should theoretically work. Let's see. Did I not save again? I forgot to save. Haha! Use A and D for moving. And the text is moving. What? Why? Why is the text moving? I have an idea, but wait, how can I solve that? So in the text system, we need to clean up this code, but it's working. So we get text, which is great. When we are converting the position, we most likely want to convert that from an unmoved camera. So a camera that is at location 00. And when the player is jumping, the game viewport actually is moving around. And then with projecting and unprojecting, since the user interface viewport does not move, that is always static, I could imagine that that's the reason why the text is moving up and down. So how do we always get back to the original position? Maybe we need the game camera and remove the position from the camera from the text position. Let me verify something. So we have here our, where is it? The game viewport with the camera, and the position of the camera is 8, 4.5, and the width, the half of it would be 8, 4.5. So I would need to get the position, at least that is my idea that we try out. I need to get the position of the camera. I reduce, or I subtract the half of the width and half of the height from X and Y from the camera position. And the value from there, that I get from this calculation, I will also extract that from the text position. Maybe. And also from the text top right. Maybe. Let's try. So my idea would be, so we have all of this stuff here. Then let me quickly go back to the render system so we get the game camera as well. So from the game camera, we get the position X and we reduce the game camera viewport width, but only half of it. That would be the cam X. And the camera Y is the position Y minus viewport height divided by half. And I think that I want to remove it from here, from the text position, and also from the top right corner. And hopefully that's it. So originally we extract 0 and 0, so nothing should change actually. Wait, the text is now moving to left and right when I'm moving, and also it moves up even further. So that's not it. Obviously, that's wrong. Wait, then let's go back to what we had before. So let's remove this one. And what is interesting, I think the left and right movement is actually correct. But the height is not correct. Yeah, so moving left or right, that seems to be keeping the text at static location, but when we jump, it moves up. Which is not what we want. Could it be that we need to... I remember that there was something that it changes the Y position around, that it somehow calculates from the top instead of the bottom. So maybe we need here something like UI viewport height minus the position. Yeah, okay, that now it's not moving anymore. That looks now better. Hello, Itsy. Itsy bitsy spider. Okay, so now the text seems to be static. It's a little bit chittering when we jump, but I think it's fine. It's a little bit too low. I want to have it a little bit higher, so it's obviously not exactly representing what we had in tile. Maybe because the alignment here is center. What if I say it's top? That did not change anything at all. I don't even know what the align value here would be, to be honest. Not sure. Let's move it a little bit up, which would be +1, +10. What would be a good value here? Hello, Valvorik. Yeah, that looks now. I like the height that it has here. That's good enough. Did you book your flight already, little Burns? Oh, you cried on WhatsApp? Okay, I need to read that later on. Okay, looks good. So let's make this code here now better. Because it's creating way too much garbage objects all the time. So we need a text position vector, which we reuse all the time. We don't want to create it, so here we call set. Then we need the text top right, which we also simply reuse for an arbitrary amount of entities. Then here we can say convert game coordinates to UI coordinates. That's happening here. The bitmap font, we can actually retrieve it here as well. Like this. It's just a one-time thingy. And finally, render text. That is totally fine as well. But it's a little bit too long. So text position X. And maybe we need to, let's do that here. Y-axis is upside down. I think it's called like that. Fix it. And this is basically what we do here. So it's from the text position Y is equal to UI viewport world height minus text position Y, and then this plus 10. Plus 10 is just an arbitrary number to move the text a little higher. So this has nothing to do with the calculation. So in here, we just need the text position Y. And now, hopefully, we get that into a single line. No, we don't. Then wrapping is true. Maybe we call that, let's make that a little bit shorter. Let's call that text location. Text top right. I think that was already called top right before. Almost there. And the alignment, maybe let's extract that as well and move that here. H align, I think it was called. Now it's clean in a single line. We don't create here objects all the time. And let's make one final test. Yeah, haha. The sound is nice. I like it. Where are you going to release the game? The game can already be played on GitHub because we are using TVM. And with TVM and GitHub pages, oh, there is a new notification. Let me see. And GitHub pages, you can then actually play the game online. So you just click here on the link. And ta-da! You have it running in your browser. Of course, that's the previous build because all the changes from today are not committed yet. But at the end of the day, it will be the game that you currently see locally. Kennst du die Webseite Fly Smarter? Ist der mal der letzte was? No, I don't know Fly Smarter. Let's see. Audio context. Someone answered here. I don't think there is a way to force a gesture. What they recommend is to add the play button at start of the game to be the first interaction. Yeah, okay. Thanks for responding. I actually did a similar solution now. After preloading some resources, I show a text to the user, click to continue, and only after that touch event, I go to the real game, and from there, music playing is working. Thank you, XP Nathan. And let's close it with comment. Good. So we contributed a little bit there as well. Yeah, so we are good. So of course the text does not look like in tiled here at all. But as mentioned, we don't need a perfect solution. We just need something. Wait, I'm a little bit of a monk. I want these thingies to be perfectly aligned. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. So at least on the y-axis, so like this. And here, there we will have the next text, which is use space to jump. So here we had use A and D for moving, and unfortunately it seems like I copied there some other text as well. So use A and D for moving, use space, then let's call it here for jumping. Yeah, but it's actually to jump. And maybe here, use A and D to move, right? That's maybe better English, I don't know. Anyway, let's move that here a little bit to the left, like here, and let's see how that looks in-game. Use A and D to move. Here is the text already visible. I don't want that. We will move it a little bit more to the right. Use space to jump. Okay, almost good, almost perfect. A little bit more to the right, like here. Yeah. Okay. Text could be a little bit more to the left, just slightly, but it's already good enough, I would say. Man, the tutorial text looks sweet. Yeah, it's most likely the best text that you have ever seen. Awesome stuff. But to be honest, I like it as well. Yeah, that looks good. Looks space to jump. And I think we will make the map a little bit bigger because here is already the next thing that you are going to learn. So there should be a little bit of a gap or more distance between the jump information and this cherry information. And yeah, here actually we are going to implement the last feature of our game, the respawning of the cherries, which we currently don't have. But first, let me take a selfie. Okay, no, let's make the map a little bit bigger, so 60. And then let's grab all of these things. I think that's simply not possible, right? You can just grab it. You can just grab it layer by layer. Or can you somehow grab everything now and move everything to the right? No. No, it does not do that. Unfortunate. Maybe there is a solution, but I don't know how. So what we need to do, we need to take the ground, put it there, take the decoration, I don't know how it looked before, place it there. What else did we have? Then we had the foreground objects. There we said, I think 6 tiles away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 pixels down. And all of that stuff, I don't know, needs to be here. And finally, we need to move now this ground over there and fill it up in between. And again, some boring ass decoration. So the tile set is fine, but I'm missing like flowers or trees. It's a little bit of a boring tile set. Let's be honest here. You should also jump up and not just over the hole, so on top of some platform. That's a good one. We could add that here as well. Ground. And make a tiny little platform maybe here that the player can try out. Hey, why did it not paste it? What's going on? Wait, so like this? Nah, not like this. I want a platform here. Not super huge, maybe just 4 tiles. But here he can try out to jump on top of that. Okay, good luck with your flight booking, my friend. And yeah, finally, we just need now the text here. Maybe somewhere here, and this would be use cherries to perform a mid-air jump, something like that. Okay, let's see. So that should be the tutorial map. That looks good. Then space to jump. Also good. Here we have a platform where you can jump on it. So that we also see that that is working. Use cherries to perform mid-air jump. The text here is not located very well. Maybe like here, a little bit upright. Yeah, a little bit higher and maybe even a little bit more to the right. We should, in a real game, we should really invest more time to have the exact representation that we have here. Also in our game. Then we can easier place the text. Okay, use cherries to perform a mid-air jump. Okay. That looks good. We will make the gap here a little bit bigger. Because it's too easy. So let's take that one, cut it out and place it here. And the decoration, we move a little bit to the right. Okay. And let's see, maybe this cherry here. Little bit to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this one also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this one, little bit higher, little bit to the left, something like this. Okay, final check. Use cherries to perform a mid-air jump. Maybe not use, it's more like collect cherries, right? I pressed the wrong button. But come on, let's go. Collect cherries to perform a mid-air jump. I think that's the correct term. But I think we are happy with what we have. Collect cherries to perform a mid-air jump. And done! Tutorial finished! By the way, did the text move around by changing the size of the viewport? No, I think that looks good. So our project, unproject stuff works. So no matter the dimensions, it's simply working. Okay, we just need to implement now the final feature, which is the respawning of the cherries. But let me first commit all of that. Why do I have so many font files again? And where are they created? Are they in the raw assets folder? Yes. I think we don't need them. I'm not sure. I will commit them. Whatever. Space is for free. Yeah, implement or how do we say that? Add tutorial map and add text drawing support for game objects. So that was this text system. So now the only thing that we need, maybe add the text saying you have unlocked map 1. Yeah, there could always be some extra things that would be nice to add. But for now, let's focus on the cherry respawning. Where are we actually destroying them? I cannot remember. We have somewhere, I think we add a remove component. Is it this one? On collect cherry, it's in the animation system. So in the animation system, we are removing the cherry. Also not perfect, but I think that's good enough. But instead of removing it, I'm confused. Don't we also need to remove like this entity tag, collectible or something, that we don't pick it up again and again? Or how did we solve all of that? I cannot remember. We have a begin contact method, and in begin contact we have the handle collectible, and there we just fire this event. Interesting. And this event is captured in the physics jump system, where we apply the jump force. Okay, then in the animation system that we just saw, where we change the player animation and we change the cherry animation and add the remove component to it. We had this remove physics where we immediately removed the, I remember now, where we immediately remove the physics body. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. We want something different. Let me think. One more. Physics system. How do we react to these contact events? So entity A is a player and entity B is a collectible. So we could basically just remove the collectible tag, then we don't fire any more events. And in addition, we can keep the physics body. Maybe we just need to convert it to a sensor, not sure. And other than that, we then, instead of adding a remove component, we add the respawn component. And maybe with a lambda expression, so some code that gets performed when the entity is getting respawned. And the code would be to add the collectible tag. And change the animation back. That's it, maybe? I don't know. We will try. So we need a new component. I think the remove component is then not used at all anymore, but yeah, whatever. So a respawn component. A respawn component. What does it need? It needs the time, which is a float, and some action, which is optional, and that is just a function that does anything. Maybe a function that runs in the context of a world. Maybe. Let's see. And this one is optionally. Can I make that nullable and assign it to null? Yeah, seems like it. Okay. So to have it a little bit better, let's also create now the respawn system, which is an iterating system and iterates over all entities that have a respawn component. Then we get the respawn information. Where we have the time and the action. Yeah, we actually, since we need to reduce the time, we need the respawn component like this. And what we then do is respawn component dot time minus equals the delta time. And if respawn component time is less than 0, then we remove it from the entity. So we remove the component from the entity. And in addition, if there is an action, then we going to call it. And let's add it to maybe here. So respawn system. And one more thing. Let's move the logic in here. So there would be a game event. Listener, not sure. I don't like that the code for collecting is distributed so much. Yeah. Refactoring can always happen. What did I do wrong? So this is wrong. Here is a bracket missing. So we have on event, and if event is the, how did we call it? Player item collect event. Like this, then we have the collectible type, and event collectible type is the cherry. Then let's invert this if condition and say return, yes, and otherwise we know what we are doing here. And here, what are we doing? So event, that's our entity, and that one we want to configure because we want to add the respawn component here. Respawn time would be, I don't know, 3 seconds. And the action would be, let me sneak peek here. I think it would be this code. So removing is no longer done. Yeah. So more like that. And in here we need the animation system, animation service that we are going to inject as well, so that we can call it here. And the key would be game object cherry atlas key and the idle animation. Yeah. Isn't there, by the way, a version, yes, which takes the game object, so we can call it like that. And we basically then just say event dot, wait, we have here we can call that here entity. Entity normal animation would then change to this. So that's the respawn action. Yeah, that should be executed here, invoked. Yeah. Can we, let me try something. Maybe we can write it like this. So respawn action, that's of type world, unit, and it's equal to that. And then I can pass it here as a second argument and remove it like this. Makes it a little bit clearer, in my opinion, to read and understand what's happening. And this type here, if it works, we can maybe make a type alias for that and just call it, I don't know, respawn action or something like that. Okay, so theoretically, a cherry should get respawned after 3 seconds or whatever we have chosen. Let's see. I missed it. Okay, wait. To easier test that and verify it, let's just create a cherry here at the beginning. Makes it easier to debug. 3. Okay, it's there. But I can collide with it again and again. I remember. Wait. That one we can fix. And I have another idea how we can maybe make a nice effect for the respawning. Couple of things. Wait. So, let me think. first of all, we need to remove the entity tag collectible. Yeah. And wait, let's move that down there so that it's together. So remove collectible tag to not trigger collect events again and again. Okay, something like that. Then here we need to add that again. I have no idea if that works. I don't know. We will see. And then, wait. We have the animation here, and the play mode would actually be looping again for the idle animation. But in addition, we could do something like global animation. And there we change the animation to something else. Let me have a little bit of a sneak peek. So here we... where do we have that? We change that to collected. It's this one. And do it like that. And I want to play this animation now in reverse. So one moment. So this collected animation is currently in place. And it's the normal animation. So what I want... What do I want? I want world.entity animation. I want world.entity animation. Aha, but in order for that to work, I need here something like that. World.entity animation. Okay, now it's working. Then I pass here the entity. Then I have the animation type. Yeah, that's also not correct. That's too complicated. What I want is just like that. I want to have the global animation. I set the GDX animation to the normal animation. Yeah. And in addition, the play mode should be play mode reversed. Yeah. Maybe something even more. So these final features of the game are usually more like hackmacks. Aha, there's the change animation function. Because I just want to get the finished product in the end, which is more important than anything else. So play mode reversed. Okay. And the normal animation will go back to the idle animation. That's not the collected animation, like this. And we loop it again. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to call here configure. Like that. Very, very weird what we are doing here. But trust me, I think this is what we need. And this should work. I'm not sure. not every entity has a global animation, or does every entity have a global animation? When do you fly back from Las Vegas? I fly back, let me check. The flight is this one. It's on, where do I see that? Manage my booking. Nah, that's the wrong one. Ah, not this one. Go back. Lufthansa. 10:39 Uhr, yeah. That's correct. That's the flight home. Let me see, what is that one doing? So if get or null, and if it's null, then edit. Yeah, I think I need something like this actually. Okay. Just to be on the safe side, I don't know if this entity has a global animation, so we need something more like get or null global animation. Or is that get or add? I think it's gets or add. Yeah, we have that as well. Add would be what would be, if it's null, then we create it like this. And the animation would be I don't know, this one. Let's also extract that. Wait. Clean up this code here a little bit. So we have the normal animation component. Let's move that up here. Then we want to create a global animation if it's missing. And here we have the GDX animation, and that is currently the collected animation. And type would be global animation, and play mode would be reversed. Okay, and global animation components. Okay, and finally, for this global animation, I want to call change animation with the values from here. Okay, now let me clean that up a little bit further. Confusing. Really confusing. I should hard code it instead of making it the separate action here. So, play reversed collected animation. That's this part here. Play looped idle animation when collected animation is done. That's this part here. And the last thing is add collectible tag to to trigger collect events again. And just to be on the safe side, this entire action I don't know. I think it needs to run like this. Not sure. Really not sure. Let's see. Let's try that out. Is something crashing? 2, 3. Okay. It seems to work. It seems to work. Yeah, so that's actually what I wanted to achieve, but I am not 100% sure if that one here is actually correct. Let me think that through once more. Just to be on the safe side, let's remove this code out here. And let's say here that this is the cherry. In the respawn action, when the cherry respawns, we want to configure it. We want to get its normal animation. And currently it plays the collected animation. Then we want the idle animation is not needed up here. We can move it down. Let's see. So we want to get or add a global animation to it, which is if it's not available, it's it doesn't really matter. It's just a new animation component with type global animation. Then we change it and play it in reversed order. And finally, we change the normal animation to the looping idle animation of the cherry. That also makes sense. And we add the collectible tag again, that it can be collected again. So that looks now good, and now I'm more confident that this is actually working. And finally, we configure it here that we remove the tag and we add a respawn component with the respawn action that we created above. That looks awesome. One thing that I want to do is, it's a small thing, but just that I also have that maybe here as a reference. So type alias, let's call it respawn action, and it's of type world dot something, and it returns a unit. And now we can use this type here as a type for our action, and also in our respawn system we can define it like that. And that's it. Okay, one final test for the tutorial map. 1, 2, 3. Zack. 1, 2, 3. Okay. There are actually some pixels. So that's the last frame of the animation. There are some pixels left over, but I think that's fine. So, dup, dup. Okay, I think... Haha! There might be bugs somewhere, but from what I can tell, it seems to work. So we can remove now the cherry from the beginning again. And that's actually it. Let me see. I think we don't need the remove component anymore. Remove system. I think we don't use that at all. So let me remove it, because let's not keep stuff that we don't need. So remove component, delete, and I think remove system can also be deleted and also removed from here. Let's see. Ta-ta! Okay. I like it. Feels good. So let's make that here. Change or add respawn logic for cherries. Let's see, animation system. What did we change here? Here we removed now this logic with the remove component. Yes. Then game screen, we added the respawn system. Then respawn component, respawn system is good. And that's it. Okay, let's commit. Okay, with that, yes, let's save. So with that, we are done with the tutorial. And we have all the features now that we wanted. Final thing now is just content creation. So that should not be too tricky. Just to create 2 maps. And we will do that. Yeah, I think we will do that now. So let's first of all clear up everything again that we have here. And on the first map, we are going to introduce the chain enemy. And also this map does not need to be so huge from the height. So let's bring it down to, I don't know, 14 again. And width, maybe let's make it 60. Okay, what was the tutorial? The tutorial had a size of, I don't know, 60 by 14. And the first map is now also 60 by 14. Then let's make the map a little bit bigger. Let's make it 80 by 14. And let's start. So we have, as always, let's make it a little bit more fun. We have a start location up here, a little bit higher, maybe here. Nah. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Then the middle part. And maybe here you need to go down into a pit maybe, and down there might be the chain or the saw enemy. Let me finalize this starting area. Okay. That's it. Then some decoration as well, that it does not look so boring. Something like that. And we also need the what did I just do? Minimap layers. I want this one. And also the starting pole, which we added where? One tile away from the beginning. Okay, so here, and we need to move it down by 2 pixels. Okay, so that's the start area. Also the player needs to be there, but he's on the object layer, to like here, right? Yeah. Good, so that's the starting area. Then we need something down here. We could actually use a different ground here as well if we want. Maybe on the decoration layer like that, but that looks a little bit stupid. Should be like this maybe. Or should we really change it? I don't know. My idea would be that down here we have a chain. It's not a chain, a saw. Of course, I mean a saw. Like here, so we mark this territory here in a different color so that the player maybe pays attention and knows, hey, there's something weird. The saw might be a foreground object, should be rendered maybe in front of the player, and it should be static. So I would say we place it here, but maybe like that. And I'm not sure, maybe it should be actually in the background. That it's in the back. And maybe we use here a track as well. So let's see that it moves from here to, what is that? Like this. Just a little bit of a movement. Okay. We don't have collision shapes for that terrain here, so we need to fix that. So let me configure that, and can I simply copy and paste that? No, it has then a different position, but that's good enough. Then this one here is like that, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And the last one would be this one. 3 pixels from the top. Yeah. I think that looks good. So coming back to our map 1, let's try the start area. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so we have here the saw. We could add here a text as well. But I think it's quite obvious, so why would you want to run into a saw? Right? Why would you do that? By the way, it's rotating the wrong way, I would say. But I think we cannot easily configure that now, right? We just have the animation stuff and things like that. Okay, so anyway, ideally the player jumps over that, and we will make it a little bit tricky, so there will be maybe a little bit of a gap here, and also it will be a little bit higher than the saw. So something like, whoops, that's not good. Something like that. Let's try that out. Okay. So here he does not see anything. Okay, when he goes close to the border, he can see that there is something. But here he doesn't see, so usually he tries to avoid this saw. And I took damage, so I'm not that good. Then, zack! A full jump does not seem to work. Okay, it does if you jump off from the platform perfectly, but if you're a little bit too late, then you collide with the edge, so you would need to do like this. Okay. And then move forward. Okay, that looks good. Then what else can we do? I would say here we make a very easy obstacle. So here the platform goes on and on. Here will be a little bit of a gap again. Maybe somewhere we also could include the cherry. Oops. Then maybe wait. I want to make that like this color again, because there will be some saws again, and that would be an indicator to the player, since it's the, let's call it the danger color of a ground or of a platform. So the player knows he needs to be a little bit careful and cannot just run. That's wrong. This one. Okay, then a little bit of decoration. And let's see. So maybe there is a static saw. And maybe here there is a moving saw, but there is a platform up there. Like this. So he can, if he's smart, he can then avoid the saw from below. That would be the idea. It's nothing too crazy that we are creating here, but it's something. So again, we have background, we have another saw. Maybe here, so he can jump over it and try to reach the platform, or we place it maybe here. Yeah, a little bit lower. Also here, let's move it one step lower, but this is anyway not accurate because of the track, I guess. Okay, so that one is a static saw. I think I need to turn off has track balls for that object, if I remember correctly. And then we have another saw, which is here. Yeah. Oh, that one I need to bring to a different layer. let's keep it like that. Okay, and this one is now moving up and down. So it has this and it moves up maybe here. Maybe that's actually too much. Not 100% sure. Could be a little bit too much. Let's make it just slightly shorter. Oh, and I need to move this one to the track layer. Otherwise it won't work. Okay. Yeah, let's try that out. Zack. 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 Okay, and I can jump on that platform, and up there I don't get damaged by the saw. How easy was it to get from here to here? Okay, so you don't make it within a single jump. And also when we fall down, we are slightly colliding here. But it's not that tricky. So you can jump here and then up there, go over the saw. And then maybe here a little bit of a blind fall. Let's see. So we are almost at the end. Nah, not yet. There's more things or more space available. I would say here is a little bit of a safety. So here we just have the normal platform again. There are no enemies, so there's a little bit of a relaxing path. Like that. And some decoration again here and here. Okay. And now maybe something cool with our cherry feature. Let me place them first, that the player jumps up to a very high platform. That would be maybe something cool. Zack, 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 zack. Ding, 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 ding. And maybe up there would be the platform, and I think that's it. That's the final jump for the first map. Like here. And then we will make the finish flag. I think that's more than enough obstacles in one map. Also, it's just the first map, so it should not be crazily tricky. Some features got introduced with the saw. So the enemy that you can take damage. Maybe the player also falls down a bit, so he will also notice that he will then respawn. I think that is good enough for a first map. I think that's good. Okay, and like this. Okay. And make the map now a little bit smaller. Let me do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make it smaller by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And here we then also need I always click on the wrong one, the finish pole, which was placed to be consistent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it should be here and 2 pixels down. Okay, so cherries, we need to test it, but I think that could be a good first map. Maybe just to have a little bit of variation. We also make here a small platform that the player might want to use. to jump on top of the first cherry. But let's see also how difficult is it to follow that path. Let's see. Map 1. I already failed at the first pit. Amazing. Okay. Okay, that's... I think it's too easy with the cherries. Let's make it a little bit more difficult. So let's remove 2 of them. The first one might be here. Then this one, I'm not sure. And this one, something like that. Too easy, failed on the first attempt. Yeah. You always need to think of that the player base is most likely full of nerds which are playing that game for hours and hours and hours, so they are obviously better than I will ever be. Yeah, that works. A little bit more difficult than it was before. We might need to add one more frame to the... and I fell down. We might need to add one more frame to the collected animation where there is no pixels at all. It's... I don't know. What do you think? I think it looks a little bit weird that there are 3 pixels left when a cherry is collected. I mean, you could argue that it's nice to see where is the location of a cherry before it respawns, but I think it looks a little bit weird that there are these 3 pixels left. So I personally would remove them. And I think I will remove them. Let's go to objects, then collect it, and then just open one of these animations in GIMP. And simply, oops. What is happening? And hello. I don't want to do anything what you say. What is it doing? I hate GIMP. It tries to think again. Okay, let's remove that. It's simply a black image and export it as idle06. Yep. And let's open up the texture packer once more. And repack everything. Save, and now the pixel should be gone as well. Ah, not tutorial. I could use the tutorial actually as well. But I like map 1. Yeah, so now they are gone. And then it's coming back. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, map 1 done. Cool stuff. Okay, let's also commit that. Add map 1. And now the last map. That's then it for this entire game and for today's stream. That is map 2. And map 2 also needs to be resized, but before, let's remove everything again. Nah. Okay, dokie. Then, oh, that's wrong. Then let's resize it. Height was 14 and width was, I don't know, 60. Let's start with 60. If it's not enough, we can anyway always extend it. Good. So where do we start? We start again, of course, in our beginning area, and there I will. Let's start. Let's do it from scratch. So let's start. I don't know, at the bottom again. And this is the map now where we're going to introduce the rocket enemy, the last enemy that we created. And we also, of course, want to use him. We have objects, and place it there, and 2 pixels down, and the player start location. Also needs to be close to it, like here. Okay. Then a pixel down, and this one here actually needs to move to the foreground objects. Okay, beginning area done. Then we have that little enemy, and for that, maybe we want to also indicate that to the player with a new ground type, which could be something simple as that. Okay, that looks like total garbage. Something like this. I don't know. Or what looks better? I think this one maybe. Because that one I can make to as large as I want it. So I think that's maybe better. Also, that could work as a wall as well, because we don't have walls at the moment. So let's bring in here some collision. Yeah, I think that one could work as a wall. That's good. Because we actually never had walls so far. We just had the platforms. So let's quickly create the collision shapes. And then we can also use that ground type. By the way, you notice how easy it is now to add additional things to our game with all the nice little mechanics that we added in our framework. Done. Then down there, one more. And I'm really impressed, by the way, by the tiled editor as well. It really contains a lot of useful features. Okay, it looks good. So coming back to our map 2, we have here now the collisions thingies. And we also want to add now here our first enemy, which is maybe also in the foreground. And it's that little guy here. And let's move him a little bit to the right, like that. And a little bit down like this. I think that should work. Let's see. I cannot walk on that. Ah, because the collision shape here is a little bit higher, so that one needs to be fixed. Okay, and he needs to be placed higher. I think. Okay, let's make some minor adjustments here. So first of all, it needs to be down by 2 more pixels at the top. 1, 2. Then also 1, 2. And here also 1, 2. Okay. So now it's on the same height than here. So that should work. And that guy, let's move him up like this. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 pixels above the ground. How does that work? Okay, so moving now works here. And this is the effect that I wanted to see. So when you get close to it, he's opening the eyes. Obviously, a player will not approach him slowly like that. Most likely, they will just run. But let's add some ground there after that as well, because I want to see if you can run under him or if that is too tricky, or maybe he's too fast. Maybe we need to adjust his values. Let's see, but that would be the beginning area where you get in contact with this rockhead enemy. Okay, let's see. Okay, running below him works. It's actually, even if I would be close like that, you have enough time to react. Yeah, so that's good enough, I would say. You can get him, by the way, in this strange state where he's cycling through some of the states very quickly. So still it's not perfectly implemented yet. I don't know. But we will not fix that. So anyway, that is fine. So that would be the starting area. So there you see this first new enemy. And now maybe something tricky. So first of all, there will be some cherry jumping to a higher platform up here. Then, since we are using the dark color here, maybe that's too much. Like that, there will be some saw as well. So the saw enemy from the first map. Then there will be a little bit of a pit down there. Maybe here. So there will be a rocket. Then there will be another one. You need to be quick. Maybe here. And maybe 3 in a row. And at the end, there will be... Wait, I pasted something which I did not want. So here, and then you need to jump out of that little pit. Maybe just a tiny little jump like that. And then you are free. Maybe here there is one last saw enemy. Let's make that platform a little bit bigger. And I think that's then more than enough enemies for one map. So here another saw. Maybe the possibility again for the player to get on top of one of the saws, like, I don't know, here. And then maybe a jump below. Then with the cherries, go to the right. Go up to the left. Go up to the right once more. And up there would be the finishing goal. So maybe something special, that it's not always just straight ahead to the right. So I think we can do something like that. Oh, by the way, I did not introduce the wall that I wanted to introduce. So let me first of all clean up this one here. So here we want to have a ground like that. Yeah. Maybe then also these thingies, not 100% sure. Then we need this one here. And the bottom here. Okay. Yeah, I'm really thinking of using these tiles here as a gap in between. Then let's copy and paste them. And we need to add the collision shapes to them as well. But we just need those. So there we learned 1, 2, 3. I think the first 3 pixels are 1, 2, 3. Yes. 1, 2, 3. First 3 need to be removed to have a flat surface. Then this one can be like that. By the way, here also we can remove the black border, and that one here is from the bottom. Okay, so now we have here a collision. Then let's add now some obstacles. So first of all, we want to have a saw. I would say right here, a little bit below, like that. Then we want to have the rockets and place them a little bit like we have it here. So 1, 2, 3 up there, 1, 2, like this. Then another one here and another one here. Then let me think, what could we do? We could add now I think that's good enough. Now here we might want to add, first of all, a chain again. But maybe again a chain that is not moving at all. Yeah, or maybe we will place a moving chain again. Here, and it follows a specific track, so it goes from here to up like this. We need to test it, but I think that might be okay. And the player can jump up here, but I'm not sure. I want, because currently all the rockets are just moving down, I want one rocket to go to the left. We could actually, wait, let me just select one of those. And the last one is maybe simply just here in the corner. Maybe a little bit to the right, like that. And I would say, do you planning to design all levels manually? Yes. What other option would there be? And then let me also place some cherries because we need to jump up here. So we need most likely 2 of them. And let's see. So this one a little bit below there. And this one a little bit up and left. Something like that. Okay, let's try that out if that is working. You mean like procedural creation of a map or something like that? Because no, that one is not planned. There is no related track for map. Okay, wait. I forgot to turn off the track information for the source. That should not follow a track, but it's just that one here right now. Okay. Okay, so that one we tested before. Then up here, I jump up with the... I think 1 cherry might be sufficient. Yeah, okay. We can try that to make it a little bit more difficult. Then here we have the saw. Then here would be... we want to run through. And we have here this little rocket which is moving left and right. They are not reacting really. Maybe it's... we need to move them down a little bit. And that guy here is now stuck forever, so... also not ideal, so let's try to fix that a little bit. So this one here I said could maybe be... maybe just 1 cherry. Not sure if 1 is enough. And the rockets, I think they need to be placed a little bit more down. Maybe 1 pixel below the black edge here, but I'm not 100% sure. And this one here, for some reason, was actually somewhere completely different. Because... he's not following gravity, so I'm not 100% sure why that happened. What happened? Let's see. If I place him to the edge, maybe that's better. I think handmade levels make it better experience, but take too long. Also, this is hard for level 1. No, that's level 2. That's the final level. The first level is a little bit easier. Okay, then... jump over the sword and run. Oh god, jump. You cannot jump over him because he's actually... they collided with each other and that's why... and that's why he gets bonked into the ground and cannot move anymore. Okay, so we need to adjust it a little bit. I will not fix the physics behavior of these enemies anymore. I will use them in a way where they work. Okay, then here you have the final saw, final obstacle done. And now the relaxing jump to the finish line. At a saw. You mean at the end? Or where do you mean? I think we could maybe do it like that. So have that one also just go from top to bottom. That might be better. And maybe here in the background add a little saw again. So let me copy paste that one. And make here a saw at the edge. Yeah, maybe a little bit like that. Like this. Something like this. Let's try it out. Instead of the rock enemy. Could also be an option. Ha! Then I have an idea. Yeah, good one. So we will have here a saw. Like here at the end. So you need to jump over that one. And here we need a little bit more space. So first of all, let's resize the map. I don't know, maybe 6 more tiles I think should be sufficient for my idea. So first of all, let's indicate to the player that he's now safe. So he can jump down here. There is a little bit of a safety platform. Let's make it a little bit bigger. If we would have auto tiling enabled and invested some time, then we would not need to draw everything here manually all the time. Okay, then down here. From here, he needs to jump to a tiny little platform up there. Maybe like your obstacles look like the ones from King of Thief. Try take a look at them and different maps. Of course, we can always take inspiration from other games, but right now we are going to do it the way we want, then with our own inspiration. Then we need also a higher map. I don't know, maybe 10 tiles higher. Because my idea... Oh, I resized it the wrong way. Wait. Resize. Then add 10 tiles and like this. Okay. So my idea would be now, as a player, you jump down there, then you jump over there, and then you need to get up here somewhere. So there will be a cherry maybe here. So to maybe reach a platform, but not a super huge one, up there. So you see it from here. Obviously, you will never reach it, but you will notice that there is something special down there. And now, let me think, when you jump here and then jump there, maybe it should be placed like this. Wait, let me place them like that again. And now manually replace them a little bit. So here, then here, then here, and the final one maybe here. We need a few more, I think. So I would add 2 more of these cherries. Zack, zack. We need to test it, of course. Then that. Okay. And then at the end, you are hopefully reaching this flying platform up here. And let's see if that is working. For that to test it in a quicker way. Wait, I adjusted here the cherries at the beginning as well. Yeah, let's retest the entire map. Let's have a look. Zack. That's too difficult, it seems. Wait, let me... Oh, okay, that's quite tough. Okay, it's not that tough. No. So when you're at full speed, it's okay. And when you slow down here, nah, I think that's fine. Okay, then we are here to saw. We can also see when we jump there that this enemy is somehow detecting that. Is that actually happening when we jump over the saw? Okay, I just died. The problem is when you slow down in midair to regain your speed, it takes too much time. Then run! Jump! Okay, all of that, that's okay. Ah, the cherry is too close. You can reach it like that, so that's not good. That is not what I want. But let's see. But it would be doable. But anyway, that is not what we want from here. Then maybe we needed a little bit of a different path. So something like that. I think you can still jump into one of these cherries, but also making a turn. So to go the other way around. Does that work? Not sure. Maybe a tricky one from here. Let's try that out, if that is possible. To get to a platform up here, would that work? Or is this too crazy? Let's remove that. And also let's bring the player up here, because we just want to test now this little location. So when I would do a jump, okay, I still reach one of these cherries, but let's ignore them for now. So I would be here, and then I see a platform up there. That would work. But I'm thinking now, we could maybe use the mechanic that the cherries disappear for 3 seconds and maybe use that. So go up here a little path. And then go to the right. Yeah, let me try that out a little bit. So this one here, in my opinion, is too low. So let's move all of that up here. Then add here another cherry. And then somehow get to this one. We need to test it with the values that we have. Let's see if that works. Oh, and let's bring the player. Let's leave him here to see if we can reach things from here. Yeah, you can still totally jump into those cherries, but we could fix that. Let's see this one here. They are too close. This might be a stupid question, but for the cherries, can't you simply remove the sprites and physics component for seconds and then add them back? We do something similar. We are actually removing the collectible entity tag for a couple of seconds, and that's why they don't react anymore. And the physics shape, I think, is anyway a sensor. So it anyway does not have any collision. It just detects when the player is in contact with it. Let's see, if I move that higher, would that still work? And also bring that some more like here. Something like that. that's... They are too close. Yeah, I collect 2 of them at the same time. But let's see. And also that one is still too close as well. So first of all, we don't need 4 of them. I think we just need 3. And this one here still needs to be maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit more to the right, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, that seems okay-ish. Let me try it one more thing. Let's remove this cherry and move that one here a little bit more to the right, like that. That works. It's not too tricky, I would say. Yeah, I think that works. That works, yeah. So I consistently get up to this platform. But we need to adjust it a little bit more. Because from here, if you go full speed and jump, you cannot reach the cherry. But let me see. Can you reach it if you really go full speed? Yes. So you can bypass the challenge from below if you go here full speed. But that can be easily fixed. We just need to make the map a little bit wider again. Maybe by 5 tiles. And move everything that we have here. And not everything. Yeah, but that part here we need to... I would actually need to move everything from all the layers to the right. Can I do that? What is that? Add selection? Replace selection? Subtract selection? No. I don't know. I want to have the objects. And in addition, maybe it's add selection. In addition, I want to have this stuff here. And now I extract it. Nah, it does not. It does not cut the cherries as well. I don't know how we could do that. Anyway, then let me count. I go... So I select all of these. 2, 3, 4. I go to the right with 4 shifts. I don't know if that is good. We need to try that out ourselves. So anyway, there we can get rid of that platform. So the player will jump down here. Then here, this platform here needs to be a little bit wider. Can I please paste again stuff? No, now, maybe now. Okay, so the platform goes until, maybe until the end. Let's not make it here too demotivating and too frustrating for the player. So there should really be some safety area where he cannot die anymore and just perform the jumps. The jump challenge again and again without dying. So let's make it not super frustrating. Like here, then here another decoration. Then the platform up there. And from here he gets to a platform up here again. And maybe to indicate that he needs to go up there, we can just draw it down here. And like that. And I would say let's try that out once more. So here, when you go down, you see here a platform. So you will go here, obviously. You cannot leave the map and you are not done. So you see a cherry up here. It's now way trickier than it was before. Oh, okay. So it's one tile too high, I would say. Let's make that. Let's pick that and move it down one tile. That should now be good. It's challenging, but not too challenging. Ugh. Done. Okay, wait. Let me try that a couple of times. Okay, 2 in a row. And failed. Ah, failed again. Okay, did it. 2 in a row. 3 in a row, so it's definitely doable. Ah, what is a little bit tricky is the cherry here to the left. You collected a little bit too fast. So that's... Let me move them a little bit further away. That one here a little bit closer. And maybe a final cherry, just as a safety one to easily get up here. Have a cherry like that here. Okay, let's see. That should hopefully be slightly easier. Yeah, that was easy. Okay, was also okay. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, that's definitely doable. What I would still like this one here a little bit higher. Maybe here. And that one maybe really as a safety down there. Okay, let's try it one final time. I think that should be good. Oh, okay. That's it. That's it. That's it again. Okay, what I don't like is that last cherry here. And to fix that, we simply move this platform here down once more. And let me make it like this. I think that's better. That's it. That's not it. Okay, good. I always hesitate. I move a little bit too fast to the right to reach the cherry. I think that's too difficult. You can definitely do it, but it's not so easy. 2 in a row. Because you stop immediately. I need to get used to that. And 1. 2 in a row. 3 in a row. Nah, let's leave it like that. It's challenging, but it's doable. 4 in a row. There's a little bit of a tolerance, so it's not that tricky. Okay, so we would be up here, and now I would say maybe as the finale for that level, we have here you jump up 2 more platforms, and then finally maybe up there we could have the finishing goal. I would say. So maybe here. But we need to be careful. We run to the right when we collect the finish pole. But I think that should be fine. So from here, jump, 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 jump. Maybe 4 times. And then here. And this platform simply needs to be a little bit bigger. Maybe also be over that gap here. I don't know. And how far away? I think it was 6 tiles, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6 tiles to the right. Foreground objects. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to place it here. And 2 pixels down. And that's it. But then I would actually say, let's make it even bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That the player is not confused, that maybe he falls down on the left side or something when he's collecting the finishing goal. And let's make it a floating platform. Just up here something. Chup, chup. That's it. Because I'm wondering, let's try out something. If we would draw down, I actually cannot do all of that. Is the ground. I was thinking if we draw down like this, but then the player might think that here he can maybe jump down, but there's actually a pit. No, then let's have it a floating platform like that. And now for the great finally, we want to have here a few more cherries. Like, there's a way bigger gap below. So the first jump is quite big here. Another one here. And then you reach the finish pole. Let's see. Zack. Then the challenging part here. Okay, that's also a little bit stupid. Wait. The problem is that we activate the collision again when... I don't know when. Let me see. There is the begin contact. Something with contact. Pre-solve, I think it's that one. I need light in my room. Okay. So pre-solve. Body collision enabled. When is that the case? So between type A is dynamic, type B is static, and the body is not jumping, or the body is a map boundary. Yes, but not jumping. It's not jumping and also not falling. Actually, it is falling, right? That's a little bit stupid. We get stuck in the middle here because we are jumping up. And when we fall down, we enable the collision here again. And then we are simply stuck within that platform. That might be some fiddling around with the physics system again. So to keep it easier, we just avoid this problem at all. And just move this platform up once more. Here. Zack. Wait, there is something like that. Okay, so we have the platform 3 tiles high. Like that. Okay, let's see. Okay, then we jump up here. That's, by the way, also something. So when I press jump, we anyway always jump the maximum height. Maybe it should be dependent on how long you press the jump button, that you can also perform tiny jumps. That would be good. So anyway, we would be here and then final jump. Zack, zack. And done. Map 2 finished. This one here looks a little bit weird. It's the same thing. So let's do it like that. Let's do it like that. Okay. Boys and girls. Maybe just for fun, what happens if we put up an enemy up there like this? Does he react when we run into the finish pole? No, it does not. But might be a little bit of a shocking moment. So you jump up there, you see the finish pole, but also this enemy. But it's not doing anything. Might be something funny up there. You can jump over... No, you cannot jump over the pole. Or can you? Let's try that out. No, you cannot jump over the pole, so here will be an enemy. That's good. The only thing that I want to change is that here we have then again the rock ground. Yeah, maybe even one tile bigger, like that. And that's it for map 2. Let me bring our player down and let's play the entire map once more. So our player is starting here, like that. And let's see. So let's play all the maps. Let's also delete the preferences file once more. Bye-bye. Everything is saved. And final test of the game. We cannot go into map 1 and 2. They are currently disabled. We will go into the tutorial. There we have a text that is static. When we jump, it's in the background. Use A and D to move. That is correct. You cannot move outside the map. You cannot jump from the map boundary. You can jump to get over gaps. We can fall into pits and then we simply respawn with the entire life. That's also good. We can jump through platforms. We can run under them. And you can collect cherries to perform a mid-air jump. And they respawn after a couple of seconds. And finally, there's the finish pole with the animation, the jingle, and we get back to the main menu. Okay, then we can go to map 1. There we have a saw that does damage when it hits us. We are blinking red, so that's the damage shader that we implemented. And when we lost all our lives, we respawn at the beginning. Then here we can bypass this saw enemy here. We jump over it. There is another platform. There is something with the cherries. And done. Okay, map 1 also good. Little bit short, of course. So all the maps are a little bit short. But I think that's totally fine. It's just some demonstration of what we have implemented. Then here is a new enemy. Yeah. So we can run under him. Jump over the saw. Here there would be something. So if we jump up there, then this enemy will detect us and hit us. So this is something special that could happen here. Then run under them and whoa, a saw. Let's jump over that. Over that one. Then we see here, okay, safety ground. You cannot reach this cherry from down there. That's good. And then tup, tup, tup. Okay, did it on the first try. And that's it. One final thing for the for the second map. I would actually like, or it would be fun if that little guy here actually goes after you, but he will not reach you or something like that. I think that should trigger him, but he will not reach you. So you go to the right, make your victory fanfare, and he will then go left. I think that would be some funny gimmick for the end of map 2. Okay, he does not get triggered yet. So we need to move him a little bit further to the right, like here maybe. Yes, that's the effect that I wanted to achieve. So he's trying to reach you, but he cannot. Okay, let's also try that when we come from the left. So we make this jump here. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. Now, I think we can leave it like that, but make the ground stop here and here. Then it looks a little bit better like that. And we need to move back the player to the start. Here, down there. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done. Let's commit that. Let's close everything. Let's mark that here as completed. Last day. Done. Save, close, and that's it. So the action should run through. Yes, so nothing was broken. Seems like everything is still working. And with that, that's it for this game. So as mentioned, I will make a final video, I guess tomorrow, for YouTube, where I will showcase the game. I will explain a little bit what we did. So the new approaches that I tried out with the scene manager thingy, then the sound effect generator that someone mentioned. I need to update the README once more. So I will add here some screenshots to the game so that we have a nice starting page on GitHub as well. And yeah, we'll summarize the things a little bit. We'll also talk about the challenges with Box2D. I still need to think if I would use Box2D for a platformer like that in the future as well. I think I would, but it's a little bit time consuming, I would say, to fiddle around with the physics engine to get it to behave the way you want. But you get so many benefits out of it. So like all this collision handling, the contact events, the ray casting, there's so many features in it which are really nice to use and would take quite some time to implement them yourself. So I think I would still go with Box2D in the future. Yeah, but anyway, that's it for today. We really finalized this platformer. I am quite happy with what we have achieved. Also the maps and the enemies that we have introduced, the tutorial, map 1 and map 2. I think it's a good starting point for a real platformer. Of course, there are a few bugs in it that we just saw, so we can get stuck inside the platform. The rocket enemy is not 100% perfectly implemented, but I think it's still a good starting point. We saw the concepts, how we could solve certain things, and now it's mainly playing or fiddling around a little bit with the values, maybe optimize certain things a little bit. But that's it. Guys and girls, I thank you for watching. I hope to hear you or see your comments below in the YouTube video tomorrow. And other than that, I wish you a nice rest of your weekend and have a good one, and bye-bye.